There's a Tokyo neighborhood that young people are flocking to. Shin Okubo. It's known as the city's Koreatown.
うちは韓国で来たキュアというグループです。
The streets here are filled with Korean pop culture and food. It's also home to a number of other ethnic enclaves.
Customers are from all over, all countries.
International, very
International.
diverse.
Yeah.
We'll learn about Shin Okubo's roots in the 17th century. Its history as a famous spot for azaleas. And its reputation as the go-to place for musical instruments. How did it grow to become such a culturally diverse neighborhood? This time on Dive in Tokyo, we explore Shin Okubo. Shin Okubo is an area of low-rise buildings just to the north of Shinjuku. Two train stations sit along a major thoroughfare running east to west. This street has historically been at the heart of the community. Our reporter today is originally from South Korea.
Hello everyone, I'm Dong Kim. I'm a PhD student researching on how we can reduce prejudice towards ethnic communities using digital platforms, which is also a YouTube channel. And today I'm here at Shin Okubo, which itself is known for ethnic enclaves. And we're gonna explore different parts, but first we're gonna see that side. So let's go check it out.
We head to the eastern side of Shin Okubo Station, which is bustling with tourists. This area gets especially crowded on the weekends.
Now here you can see more Korean signs, like what it says over there is, if it's delicious, it's 0 calories. That's what it says over there.
This is one of the country's largest Koreatowns. It's home to many stores catering to fans of Korean pop culture, which has become a global phenomenon.
Let's see what they have in this department store. Ah, so these are like K-pop goods.
What does Shin Okubo mean to K-pop fans?
韓国を感じられるところなので、そんなに頻繁に韓国に行けなくても新大久保で韓国を味わえるって感じで。
There are even live music venues showcasing K-pop idols. Sometimes you can run into performers walking around promoting their shows.
So I just met the Shin Okubo K-pop idols. And it's quite exciting to see like how K-pop is spreading in Japan and around the world.
The local Korean community took root here shortly after World War II. Then, in the early 2000s, interest generated by the Japan-Korea World Cup and a wave of hit Korean dramas made the area a tourist attraction. Meanwhile, the western side of Shin Okubo has a multicultural feel to it.
So I came to this other side of Shin Okubo and the vibe is completely different. Even the smell is different here. You can smell different spices.
There are a variety of Asian markets and restaurants. Even a store selling clothes from Nepal. Here's a Turkish kebab stand. We asked one of the regulars about the neighborhood.
外国人って一人で日本に来てるわけなんで、一人で歩いてても寂しさを感じないっていうか、もうみんなから元気をもらう感じですね。
It seems something has caught Dom's eye.
And oh whoa, wait. This is Korean. It says Yeonhyangwan underneath. And this looks like a different cuisine.
This two-story building houses 4 restaurants, each specializing in a different type of cuisine.
know where we are. こんにちは。ちょっと別のお店ですか？
全部別
別
そう
これはウズベキスタン、これはバングラデシュのハラルレストラン。
なるほどね。
Here on the first floor, customers can order dishes from both restaurants.
料理的にはつながりがありますか？
ないですね。こっちはスパイスばっかり、うちは塩味。
Next, we visit a halal market that caters to the local Muslim population.
Let's see what's inside. Wait, they also have sweets.
Customers are from all over, all countries. Indian, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Nigerian, Japanese.
He says more and more Japanese customers come seeking out halal ingredients.
本当に別の国に突然この路地入ってきたら来たかのような、はい、すごいびっくりしました。
Shin Okubo's modern history has been shaped by a mix of cultural influences. But its roots actually stretch back much further. So next, we go in search of traces of its past. Beginning with nearby Okubo Station.
So we are around 300 meters away from Shin Okubo Station. We literally just walked down here. And one thing that I noticed is that there is a mural right in front of me. Okay. So it says Teppogumis. I see some old guns with the samurais. They must be pretty old.
It's said the town's history began with a group of musketeers. There's a local shrine that's associated with them, Kaichu Inari Jinja. We're met by two men who work with the shrine to keep the legacy of the musketeers alive, Kaneshige Tokutaro and Takahashi Tatsuro.
今日よろしくお願いします。
はい、よろしくお願いします。ここにあるでしょ。はい。江戸幕府鉄砲組100人隊行列ってありますから、
はい。
まあ江戸幕府に鉄砲隊があったんですね。
はい。
ここに100人隊がね駐屯してました。
This is Tokugawa Ieyasu, the first shogun of the Edo period. He stationed a unit of 100 musketeers here to guard the western approach to the capital. The neighborhood came to be known as Hyakunincho, which translates to 100-person town. That name is still in use today. And the local preservation society has in its possession dozens of old matchlocks from that era.
まあかなり重たいものです。鉄ですからね。で、ちょっとまあ構えてみましょうか。ね、ちょっとお客さん向けちゃいけないから。まあ大体こんな構えになりますけども。
Once every 2 years, they perform a reenactment of the unit's departure ritual in dedication to the shrine's deity. The event is a blast from the past. Samurai clad in traditional armor parade through the streets, celebrating Shin Okubo's roots.
まあこの文化、歴史を大事にして後世に残していきたいと、その一心であります。
They say that the presence of the musketeer unit literally shaped the local streets.
で、こちらの道も見ていただいて、まあこんなこれもまあ江戸時代からあった道なんですが、
はい。
まっすぐあって、
はい。
みんなこう細長いんですよ。
そう、細くて長いですね。
This area is made up of long, narrow streets. It's said the layout has remained largely unchanged since the 17th century. Here's an old map of the neighborhood. The musketeers lived in long, thin houses. Everything was arranged to make the area difficult to attack.
安全面からこんな区割りをしたんじゃないかなと思いますね。
The network of back streets had the effect of deterring large-scale redevelopment, which is why today the neighborhood is home to a variety of smaller businesses. The Musketeer unit also planted the seeds for another local attraction, azaleas. We head to a nearby park to meet with two locals who can tell us more.
Oh, they're wearing those beeples? It's color of azalea. こんにちは。はじめまして。
Asai Haruo and Morita Tadayuki work with the district council to make the community a better place.
大久保で育てていたと江戸時代にね、それの由来をずっとつながってるものを大久保通と言ってるんです。
Under the Edo shogunate, Japan enjoyed over 200 years of peace and stability. The members of the Musketeer unit began cultivating and selling azaleas in their spare time as a way to supplement their income. They grew the flowers in private gardens, turning the wood charcoal and lime they used to make gunpowder into fertilizer. Gradually, the neighborhood developed a reputation as an azalea viewing spot. The second half of the 19th century saw the opening of several azalea gardens, culminating in a visit by the emperor in 1899.
天皇陛下が来るぐらいですからね、すごかったそうです、この頃は。
Then, following the Great Kanto earthquake of 1923, there was an influx of displaced people from hard-hit areas. Residential development led to the closure of the azalea gardens. In the early 2000s, Asai and others decided to launch an effort to bring back the lost azaleas. They've been working with the park staff and other locals to plant the seeds of the future.
多分今大久保に住んでる人でも大久保のイメージってみんな違うと思うんですよ。一人一人それぞれの環境でそれぞれ環境違っていいんだけど、だけどその中でみんな共通して秩序があればいいなと思うんですけどね。
In the post-war era, Shin Okubo also began to develop an ear for music. Along these streets, you'll find stores selling instruments, recording studios, and more.
Can you hear the sound? ここか。Right here.
We've come to a shop that can tell us more about the area's history with musical instruments.
こんにちは。はじめまして。よろしくお願いします。
This is the current proprietor, Takahashi Daisuke, and his father, Ichiro. They specialize in repairing wind instruments. The family business was founded after the war by Takahashi's grandfather, Haruo, whose services were in high demand.
進駐軍にアメリカ人日本にいるそのアメリカのバンドマンの人とか、日本の数少ないですけどね、その時は数少ないですけどもバンドマンの楽器を新橋とか有楽町とかああいう方に行って営業してみたいな感じですかね。
Shortly after the war ended, music halls and clubs catering to occupation forces opened in areas like Ginza and Shimbashi. Haruo grew the business by repairing instruments for musicians who were part of that scene. Then, in the 1950s, Shinjuku became the center of a new nightclub scene, catering to Japanese music fans. The shop became busier than ever.
新宿だと近いですから午前中に走ってきて、5時に音出しだとか言われるとうちの親父もなるべくはそれに合わせてやろうっていうんで5時前にできるようにやってた。
Soon thereafter, the Tokyo Symphony Orchestra set up a base of operations here, followed by more instrument repair shops and retailers, and Shin Okubo became a town of music. The neighborhood's international character was also cultivated by historical influences. To find out more, Dom meets up with a locally based journalist, Murohashi Hirokazu. Since moving here in 2018, he's been exploring these streets and interviewing local international residents. He's even compiled his experiences into a book.
この大久保自体がこんなグローバルな街になったきっかけは何ですか？
留学生がすごく多いんですよ。で日本語学校とか外国人を受け入れる専門学校とかが、新大久保の界隈にすごくたくさんあるんですね。で彼らがこの街に国際化の色を与えているなっていうふうに思うんですよね。
He says there's a place that served as a gateway for many international students.
こちらになります東京日本語教育センターになるんですけれど。
This education center is run by the Japanese Student Services Organization.
おはようございます。今日はよろしくお願いします。こちらの東京日本語教育センターで今日ご案内していただける畑さんです。
畑さん、キムと申します。
Hata offers to show us one of the classrooms.
お邪魔します。よいしょ。 今日お客さん連れてきました。よろしくお願いします。
お邪魔します。よろしくお願いします。
あ、学校だ。はじめまして、キム、私も留学生でした。キムと申します。
パソコンを買いたいです。はい、どうぞ。パソコンを買うなら。
Nearly 200 students from 43 countries are currently studying here. About 60% are here on scholarship from the Japanese government. They're here for a variety of reasons.
子供の時、ずっと日本の番組を見て興味になった。
日本ではロボットはやっぱりいいと思います。 ロボットを勉強したいんです。
The Education Center stands on the former site of a public organization founded in 1935 to teach international students Japanese. Hata brings out some old photos taken shortly after its inception. Here's a classroom in session back in 1938. At the time, they had students from 15 countries and regions, mostly in Asia.
The
number of international students coming to Shin Okubo further grew in the 1980s.
もう一つ1980年代に中曽根内閣の時に留学生を10万人に増やそうというような計画があって、それもあって、新大久保近辺にどんどん留学生が増えたんじゃないかというふうに言われてるんですよね。
なるほど。
He says that the International Students Institute helped pave the way for more Japanese language schools in the area. Accessibility and affordable rent made Shin Okubo a popular town for exchange students. Today, there are over 50 Japanese language schools in the greater Shinjuku area.
この町に若さを与えてくれてるのはやっぱり留学生なんだろうっていうふうに思うんですよね。元祖の一つであろう国際学友会のこの流れを組むこちらやっぱり本当に大きな存在だなっていうふうには、
いろいろありがとうございました。
こちらこそありがとうございました。
Murohashi says Shin Okubo's international makeup also has to do with the neighborhood's proximity to Shinjuku, specifically the bustling Kabukicho district.
こちらが食安通りっていう通りになるんですね。
食安通り。
食安通り。はい。で向こうの歌舞伎町っていうのは、高度経済成長期からバブルの時代にかけて、たくさん夜のお店が栄えたわけなんですよ。今もなんですけれど、で特にその時代に、アジア系の外国の方々が、夜の街で働く人がたくさんいたわけですよね。
Kabukicho lies to the south of Shin Okubo, on the other side of Shokuan-dori. In the 80s and 90s, the area became an adult entertainment district, with bars and clubs open until late at night. Many of the workers were from East and Southeast Asia.
その人たちが仕事が終わると、どこに帰ってくるかっていうと、この大久保に帰ってきて、ここで暮らしていた人がたくさんいた時代があったんですよね。
From Kabukicho, it's a short 5-minute walk to Shin Okubo. For foreign residents working in Shinjuku, the neighborhood offered convenience and affordable housing. So they made it their home. Since the 2010s, the area has welcomed many new halal markets serving mainly residents from South Asia.
じゃあ今はコリアンタウンだけじゃなくて、他の国の方も多いんじゃないんですか。それはなぜですか。
3.11 の東日本大震災をきっかけにして多国籍化が進んだっていうふうに言うんですよね。
それはなぜ？
はい、中国人とか韓国人の留学生が、放射能を恐れて結構減った時期があったんですよ。
Meanwhile, he says, the number of students from Vietnam and South Asian countries like Nepal increased. That led to more stores and restaurants catering to their needs. As the area became more multicultural, new places of worship began to pop up. This temple is at the center of the local Taiwanese community. And this building here houses a mosque.
いろんな国の人たちが集まっているんですけれど、いろんな宗教の人たちも集まっているエリアなので、やっぱり皆さんお祈りする場所、皆さんで集まる場所っていうのはどうしても必要なんですよね。でその一つがヒンドゥー教のお寺があるんですけれど、僕がよく知っている場所なので、これからちょっとご案内します。はい、こちらです。
普通の家じゃないんですか。
よく見るとこんなマークもあって。
This Hindu temple just opened this past May.
こんにちは。
いらっしゃいませ。こんにちは。
こんにちは。はじめまして。
お寺を管理されているバングラデシュのナンディさんです。
ナンディさん。
Nandi has been living in Japan for 23 years.
こちらヒンドゥー教の神様なんですけど、シバ神様なんですね。で、隣のはパルボティさんです。奥さんです。
Shiva is one of the three main gods of Hinduism. 5 years ago, Nandi established Tokyo's first temple dedicated to Shiva to serve as a gathering place for his fellow Hindus. But it wasn't long before they outgrew the space, and so he built this temple to accommodate more people. It even includes a kitchen and a meditation space.
すごい狭いところにみんな集まってて何かやってるんですよ。なんだろうなと思ったらみんながちょっとおいでおいでって言ってくれて、でそれがナンディさんたちだったんですよ。でそれからずっとお付き合いしていて、でこのお寺が大きくなっていく様子を僕はずっと見てきたですね。
ここに来る方はヒンドゥーの方が多いんですか？
ヒンドゥーの方が多いですね。はい。でそのうちにイスラム教徒たちも
るし、日本の方もいらっしゃいます。ヒンドゥー教だけじゃなくて、ね、誰でも来るようになれば幸せになると思います。
Murohashi believes spaces like these help make Shin Okubo a comfortable place to live for international residents.
外国の人たちが住む上で必要なインフラっていうのがもう整ってきている町なので、だからこれからねどんどんまだ今以上に増えていくと思うんだけども、日本人とか外国人やっぱりなるべくねうまくやってコミュニケーションをもっと取ってでお互いにハッピーであればいいなというふうに思いますよね。
Lastly, Dom and Murohashi meet with another local resident who recommends Nepali food for dinner. Masuda Kayoko was born and raised in Shin Okubo. She's a master of Japanese tea ceremony, who also owns several buildings in the area. And she's a regular at this restaurant.
会社までちょっと出前してくれたりとか、道路の会話。
それ増田さんスペシャルサービスですね。
Masuda regularly holds tea ceremony classes to teach international residents and visitors about Japanese culture. She also supports enterprising locals. When Magar Manish wanted to open a restaurant, she helped him rent this space and has been recommending the place to her tea ceremony students ever since.
I want to open the new shop. I request this place. Then it's okay. You have to do it. Everything. That's why I do it. Many support.
でやっぱりいろんなことが起こるので、そこにこう嫌だなとか頭にくることもあるでしょうけど、やっぱりどんなことがあっても相手を受け入れるっていう、そういうことをやっぱりこの町で教えていただけたように思います。
People like Masuda and Murohashi are helping build bridges between local residents so that together they can create a more inclusive sense of community.
Honestly, for me, Shin Okubo was a place to have spicy Korean food, but I was curious why it has such diverse characteristics. And this time hearing the Japanese people talking about how Shin Okubo has evolved, like the stories of the gun squad and all the flowers, I could see how the Japanese local people were not just connecting, but were blending in with the ethnic communities. So I think Shin Okubo at the end is indeed a melting pot of culture.